to you. Yeah, and it's true. Lottie-dot, twinkly-dee. Do you believe in a girl like me? Shanice is the one for you to be with. But when I'm caught all alone, I start fessing. It's from state of depression. And then the thunderclouds of doubt move in. I begin to wonder, do you still love me? But after that, my whole world is beautiful.
Make your mind clear, make it clear towards your brother. Make your heart pure, make it pure towards your sister. The world will be a better place with more kind people with the love. With so much sincerity, so much humility, person like Ndi Ozigbo. My brother and my sister. My brother and my sister. Make you there do good though. Your reward is there for front though. Person will get better mind in business quick, they don't know. Make you there do good though. Your reward is there for front though. Person will get better mind in business quick, they don't know. The world will be a better place with more kind people with the love, the love, the love. With so much sincerity, so much humility, person like Ndi Ozigbo. Make you there do good though. Your reward is there for front though. Person will get better mind in business quick, they don't know. Make you there do good though. Your reward is there for front though. Person will get better mind in business quick, they don't know. ga nọnyere ya ọ dịrọ mfe mana onye ji Chineke ji ihe ebe nwere Chineke nwere ihe amala jijiji Valu nwoke ọma chi nọnyere gị Valentine Ozigbo chi nọnyere gị ekene kelere m Valule nwoke ọma Chukwu jakwara ngwọrụ ekene kelere m eze ego na mezi
On the beat.
Purchase your tracks today.
Mr. Zero on the beat.
enlightening.com. Purchase your tracks today.
Mr. Zero on the beat.
Purchase your tracks today.
Mr. Zero on the beat.
Purchase your tracks today.
during the political campaigns, but this one is special because we're going to have a very, very intimate one-on-one with a special gentleman. We're going to get to hear what he has to say, and not just that, but we're also going to give you opportunity to ask questions as well, to find out, ask some probing questions about what he wants to do, and plans he has for the great state of Anambra. So this is a special town hall meeting for Valentine Ozigbo, and the whole idea is to discuss the state and the way forward for the good of not just Anambra State, but also the whole of the Southeast region. And we all know what's going on there. A lot needs to be done in that area. So please give yourselves a big round of applause for being here today. So no occasion can go smooth or can start properly without the presence of God. So I'd like in that way to invite the Bishop Don Ifekbe, the CEO of Miles Magazine, who is normally based in Canada. I think he ran away from the winter cold in Canada to come and enjoy some Hamatan with us. So please, if I can just indulge us for a minute, if you could just be upstanding for the opening prayers. Thank you. Bishop Don Ifekbe. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Father, we thank you for such a day as this. We thank you for seeing the end of the year. Truly, it's not everyone that began the year is here today. But we thank you because we can testify that we will see many more years in Jesus' name. As we have gathered together, it is beautiful for brethren to gather together in unity. We have not come to discuss war. We have come to discuss peace. We pray that everything we shall do today, our deliberations, everything we shall eat, drink, all the discussions today, that all the glory will be back to you and humanity will be blessed for it. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Please be seated. As I mentioned earlier, we have a very tight program. The best part of it is that the main meat of what we're doing, you'll get to hear from Valentine Ozigbo. You'll also get the opportunity. We have another mic here. We're going to take it round later on and give you a chance to ask questions and find out what plans he has, what he wants to do for Anambra State. So that's a very important part of this evening. All right, so we're going to get started. Like I said, everything's going to be short, so make sure that you just pay attention and stay with us. Just to give us the welcome remarks, someone who's been very much involved in what's going on, please give a round of applause and welcome Ikem Umwezokwe, please. Okay, welcome Obino Fudo, please. My mistake. Sorry.
Well, it's fine. My brother's name is Ikem, so when you see me and my brother, you also see me. Good evening, everybody. Ndi Anambra kwenu. Kwenu. Kwezuono. Mwa bu Obinna Ufudo. Mwa bu onye Nnobi. In the Idemili South of Anambra State. So today is a wonderful day for all of us. Even if you're not from Anambra or if you're not from Igbo land, you are a Nigerian. And we see all of the challenges that we continue to face in the country. So today we're going to talk about Anambra specifically. Christmas Navelu, and as everybody is planning to go back, I know a number of us are already making an arrangement for either police escort or vigilante escort or some other form of security. So we see the challenge in our state. We see the confusion in our state. The old touts, Oju Anambra State, Nina. Have you had any encounter with the touts in Anambra State? If ever the enforcement of their own law, Bakodo. In 2024, if you go to Anambra and as you are going now for Christmas, are you going to have your box of medicine with you? Because I'm 100% sure that the hospital in your village is not working. It's not functional. Your young cousins and nieces and nephews in the village, what kind of schools do they go to? In my own village, I had to build a school. From start, I built from scratch and handed it over to the church to manage. Have you tried the potholes in our roads? So the very basic things that we should have in the states continue to challenge us. And the period when we had a number of good news coming out of Anambra State seemed to continue to be farther and farther away in our past. Meanwhile, I'm a professor. When a trader was our governor, I know first. Ka professor was the governor. I didn't know. So a number of challenges in the basic areas of human life, which is health, education, security. I'm about all the other parts where, your cousins who are doing business in Anambra State are beginning to relocate to Asaba and to neighboring states. Asaba is developing at the detriment of our states. A plot of land in Asaba is almost 3 times the value of a plot of land across the Niger. So a number of us decided that, this conversation has to be had. Because I don't think that is what we signed up for in life. We signed up for a better life. And the only people that can give us a better life is ourselves. And so what we have to do is to start a conversation. How does it happen? So a number of us came together and decided that we need to, host this evening and have our friend and brother come and talk to us about what he thinks about these challenges and what he thinks we can do to make a change. So that is the essence of today's event. We're going to have Val, Valentine Ozigbo, talk to us, and all of us are going to have the opportunity to ask questions, make suggestions. No one person is going to be able to make a change in Anambra State. No one person. It will require all our collective efforts. And when I say all our collective effort, it means that no matter what it is, even if it's just your vote, it's an effort. If you can get 1 or 2 other people, it's additional effort. If you can contribute financially, it's an effort. If it's just ideas that you bring, fantastic. Whatever it is, we need to all come together. All bunu bunu. So that is what we are here for today. So let me not waste our time. I'm going to invite our guest of honor today to come and talk to us, and then we'll take it from there immediately afterwards. So, Val, please, over to you.
Good evening, everybody. Nambokan Kene Ochendo Nobi for fantastic remarks and ushering me up here. Because let's applaud him once more. Nekene Bishop Don Belaye Kwele. Nekene our compere Olisa Adebo. Nekene Onon Chanine Oraronongpa to be here this evening. I want to particularly appreciate my lovely wife that is here, Ojego Ozigbo. And well, a lot of you see a bedi chiche where Bello Lisa si Houston not here. I salute you. No aboni si na Houston. I'm making here. Akajigo had to fly in from Mambo where Abuja could ever KCSC. I salute you, Biko Dalo. Biko, a lot of our people are here. Some are from Anambra State, some Enugu, some Imo, Abia, Ebonyi, and some may not even be Igbo here. We can make it on Chanine. Udo the Lord on aha Jesus. I try me to nafa one by one. Mananchalik and especially the Anambra State Development Association not here because I'm making on he came, and despite very short notice, yesterday or 2 days ago, I was saying Ogabia within Dotia and Habican make on Chanine, Udodon Naha Jesus. I want to specifically also applaud and appreciate in the media not here. Afugum Mandisi, Mande, a lot of them my friends, Biko Dalon. Odenkaiga Bayezi Nubi Onyayana Kolo. This evening is important to me particularly because I have been on the road for several days and weeks and traversing different continents and holding this type of event. And I believe in today, the special in many respects. Lagos is, we call it center of excellence. Before I want Ndi Igbo, on Ademka, I weapon the Igbo, Bini Igbo. And Lagos were the highest concentration of the Igbos. So it's on that basis, this has got to be the mother of all town halls. So I call on the Lagos Act. The reason bona ihobuna I call here party of Fuma will be as impactful as Ekbaya na Nibo. Achaba, we can classify Lagos as also a diaspora. Achaba, we can classify it as a home. Because a lot of us have made here our home. And so meaning that all the hurt and difficulties that we face, you actually experience it the more than they know abroad. But of course, not more than they know. No. What we're doing is part of our engagement, not just for those who don't live in Anibo and Anambra. We started off actually at home. We've been engaging. Just yesterday, I was in Nnewi to speak with the Anglican Diocese of Nnewi on Igbo leadership question. Took time to also host meetings of some of my friends the day before in Agolo. And we've hosted a couple of events in Onisha, in Oka, in different parts of Anambra State. In Ekulobia, we hosted a symposium of the obedience where over 2,500 people gathered in Onisha. We've hosted, major events in Unizik, and where we sponsored a couple of engagements among the youths. We've hosted the widows in Oka during my birthday. We've hosted the orphanage homes in Ekulobia. So we do a couple of things at home. But we realize that Opusro so Sunday no. Ka ihe na-eme na-ewute. Ọbụrọsọ ha na hot. Ọbụrọsọ ha bụ ndị issues. We all are collective in the issues that we face. And so it's important and that's what we are doing. Today, I won't start off delving into Anambra matter. Let's talk generally. And Chami, everybody not here. Can we open minds about this conversation? I'm going to be mixing English and Igbo in case someone know Igbo. For the here. So this today, we've got a lot of questions pondering our mind, and some I may be able to offer some opinion, and some others, and we're also here to listen to you. But let's have an honest conversation about our future, about our way forward. And I always want to go back to the whole essence of it all, the most important conversation anybody can have. And for me, if we truly want to be selfless, which is what we're called to be, the real issue ga-abụ kedu ihe melụ ọnọdụ anyị jidere etu a? Why are things the way they are? Why are we unable to evolve as a people and move away from the pedestal issues that we keep discussing about year after year? Sometimes even deteriorating instead of improving. When Michael Akbara nebe Southeast Maluka, Guinea Mesile Southeast. What happened? Where did it start going wrong? Let's go back to shrine and all those stuff. I wonder, what is actually going on? Problem. I just watched the video of the Archbishop of Okigwe Diocese, Methodist, talking about the mayhem going on, how the entirety of Okigwe zone is gone to bandits. I wonder what is actually going on. It hurts me that Mpotekbo in Qatar, I pull about wrong things, kind of. There's not even a discussion now about how do we catch up with the rest of the world. Such conversation doesn't even happen anymore. Even if you say a big man on a zogale, naba keke, naba na dress ya azwefe, kada amakwana no a big man. I don't know. You know, what is sad is we sometimes justify the sins away, we excuse them away, we blame it away. That's actually what is sad. Even I went on at this room, it could be a kita. You start pointing hands at some other people. Now, that's where I totally disagree. I want to ever. But the problem, we are as a problem as much as those that we think we're blaming. I be here. Kaigwa onwai ezoku. Why are we going through these? Why are we being looked down upon as black people in this world? You know, everywhere I jello, we're in Qatar. What I love, the feedback we're getting, is that people are actually now beginning to have a paradigm shift when we have this type of conversation. Kai pukene from those looking for. Maka each time I kulu, keheneme, what went wrong? Easily, when the guy budo sige na nanai haji mebenka until ndo chabia, butela yoka, change ye omenanai ihe bido mebiba. For the cover that na ombano salaga kan kaji we kaji me. For the sigi that na, you know what? No, this country I know kind of know why, because multi-ethnic, multi-religious, multi-incorbana. People keep giving excuses, unfortunately, that don't make much sense. Not really that they don't make much sense, they don't hold water. And the reason I say so, Abra, because there may be truth in some of what they are saying, but it's not enough to hold us down. Maka, many people want worse conditions, got through worse situations. Still, they were able to evolve as quickly as possible. Within 10 years, within 20 years, within 30 years, we are here now going to 60 years, and the same alcohol before. So the real issue here, Kenya bu nsogbu Kenya aje eme ihe ji akpali ai. Kenya melo that we've not been able to honestly evolve as a people, to get to where we can truly be proud of ourselves. And in a Jezinozo, no matter where you are, you walk with your shoulders high. I honestly feel that now our story can change. Our story can truly change. We can be like what we've seen in other countries. We can actually be better than them. After all, I also posit that now we are even far more blessed than some of these are contemporaries. Krihe kola inowa, or ezbote land ka enwero, or ezbote weather ka enwero, or resources ka enwero, or intellect ka enwero, or human being ka enwero, or gini, what actually is lacking? I actually, what even strengthened my confidence, my conviction, but when I start to see that I want to live, that we share in the same identity as some of the people I consider the most impactful in this world. I've said this everywhere I've gone to, that as far as I'm concerned, I consider the people, the Israelites, as the most impactful people in this world. Because look at their small population. But today, 32% of Nobel Prize winners are Israelites. And when I think about, some of the passages in the Bible that link us to them, from the story of God to the story of Eri, and if you go to Aguilera, they show you, in fact, I got a call earlier today, I haven't even called him back, the Ezeri. He called me earlier today. If you go and they show you a book, God, and tell you the story, and okay, forget about even those stories. Some have gone to do DNA tests to demonstrate that don't want to hear Jikola and there. So Odim can all our failings, Melona, black people can call you. What I'm saying in effect, but no Nigeria can change one or the black people. And on the Igbo, Bundi Walo, almost everything I require to get it done. And guess what? Anambra has always been seen as the headship of our Igbo. And therefore, all our failure to do what is right, and that's where we're going to go to. What is actually the things that we're supposed to do? What are those stuff? On here, I belokai to halo. Ngekwu nke mma. Onye malu nke oge tiye. Otiye niya, we jot it down, we come together. How do we evolve? Because ono anakai ne yizimoyi. That for me is the fundamental thing we've got to consider in our lives. I don't care how comfortable you are, how rich you are. Mana imesia ndo idle to am akolo na akolo nisi until I would have died in vain. That's my simple submission. Can you make a in our own lifetime? What are we going to do to change the story? Biagwam, any discussion be more important than this? Tell me. If we can do a few things right, I honestly, sincerely believe that we are going to see those. And some of the things I talk about are personal experiences. Now, MA tour, like in the private sector, in this particular sector, this is how things evolve. We used to know Eto Sidele before. To get there. Why can't we replicate that in other important aspects to make sure we get it right? What are those things? Kedebo just there I can do so okayema. Check ebehano mbodka on our own situation. Mesia ha move up. Jebeba no zikita. Kedi ha melo we lueba ha. Pick any country. Pick China. Pick India. Pick Japan. Pick Singapore. Pick UAE. Pick anywhere from different continents. India, China, and Akoko or no before. How come they've left us behind? Kadiya Melo. And the ya Melo, when we talk about this, if we our Ayenwa Bundibo, in particular, Bundiga Baino Doana, Menwoya, we show indeed that the standard can be set. And I met your former it can become replicable. Merozea, other places. And by the way, can I say Kuzid Kita Abuna? Can I just go to buy first? Let's fix some first. What shall we do to get it right? And there are three things I keep positing, and I believe sincerely that when I focus on these three things, it may not be exhaustive. Oh, okay, one other things. Manam kuse onem geku, arapulondos okay with their own ideas. And guess what? They are not my idea. They are the fact on ground. There are things you know already. There are things you say already. But sometimes I nekusia as in the convinced. I nekuya as in the feel that now sometimes we actually just give up. And I'm here for the same similar election. I been all incumbent. I buy neki malunka. Negdonya anya say antoplonya on kambachi and kitikita. Because we still don't know if we understand this conversation well. My brothers, my sisters, because I be remember to beg you to support Valentine Ozigbo for governorship. If onye Valentine Ozigbo support oya, may support onye nkamma, you'll be part of the evil that we're condemning. That's not. I'm here to put it on the table the way it is. Ezioku. Okay, the three things that I feel that if we do right, conscientiously, meticulously, show consistency in doing things right, that we will evolve as a people. Inafumbawe, niruai, nandoai. Nkembobo, political leadership. Getting that question right. I didn't want to see it right most of the time. And well, in Baduka, I wanted to learn if not by accident, or brought by design. The Bible, Proverbs 29:2. When good people, when godly people, when righteous people are in power, the people rejoice. And when wicked ones are in power, the people suffer. Unagota that unagota liofuma? Okay. I don't unagota liofuma. So today, are we rejoicing or are we suffering? So meaning what? That wicked people are in power. So are you part of those who brought the wicked people in power? Because guess what? You're part of the wickedness. What am I actually trying to say? We have all sinned and come short of glory. Ebima. Now, if wicked people are in power, and they feel here that now, guess what? And we're wicked people in power. Do you really know what to do, how to do, how to galvanize, how to make sure that wicked people, Paula, chase? How do we even get political leadership issue right? I have again said this in several fora. We're seeing four things we consider whenever we are discussing political leadership. Everybody will know about the most important thing after God. And what any other thing they as important? Because after Ikechuku, okay, authority, Chineke nyezele mother Noah. And Bokelai, Genesis, he gave us dominion to rule the kingdom. And by implication, came where political leaders. And Igasia different stories in the Bible, particularly the life of the Israelites. When they suffered and suffered and suffered, and at the end of the day, mbobuna Chineke Jakia, Nyai, those people. And I want to also define what is even the word godly and righteous, because really, who is righteous? Nobody's righteous. So, but when you to dispose ourselves, after all, the same Bible in Romans 8:30 say, for those he predestined, he called. For those he called, he justified. For those he justified, he glorified. So God actually does not necessarily call the qualified, but he qualifies the called. And open you are wasting our times. For those who don't believe in Bible, no believe here. Because guess what? It's even logical. Forget good modeling in a Bible. When you will ever draw logical, it's simply logical. Now, open esbo madu no chichi ni madu enwangole. Can you the meaning of esbo madu? That's what we need to talk about. Because just governorship. Take it to any other level. Also, PG of your town, for example, chairman of your local government, also, president of the country. These are the things we must try to get right all the time. These are the things we must try to get right all the times. What are those major considerations when it comes to political leadership? In Kembo, the first P is what I call the personality. Kedi onye aha bụ. Kedu ụdị mmadụ onye aha bụ. Ọ ezigbo mmadụ ka ọ ajọ mmadụ. Onye ihe na-ewute ihe ndị mmadụ na-ewute. Onye nwe na-atụ egwu Chukwu ka onye just bụrụ onwe ya ka ọma. Bụrụ a greedy fellow, a wicked fellow who really doesn't care, as long as no socia, no fuma, mobunda bolia, no fuma. And the best way to really consider this is to ask, is this person emotionally intelligent enough? Emotional intelligence, for me, summarizes it all. It defines it all. Everything Igachiku Basalom Madu is defined within that concept, emotional intelligence. And under this consists of three things. Nkembu buna iga bugodo onye na-agwa onwe gị eziokwu. Personal authenticity. Onye ga-abụ, you don't lie to yourselves. And when you are honest to yourself, first of all, you will identify that of course you have some strengths, but also even with some weakness. It is vulnerable, even madon kete. And realizing this, you know what it does to you? He humbles you. You are not God. So that humbles you. That also helps you to manage your own emotion. When you're going overboard, when to control yourself. How to manage your emotion. So, and when you're able to manage your emotion, you're able to take a more deliberate, more impactful, more effective decision as a human being. Because people can do anything and you can choose not to be upset. They did something and I chose to be upset or not to be upset because you manage yourself well. You manage your emotion well. And that's the first aspect of being emotionally intelligent. And particularly states as, Republican, as Anambra State. On the Gotalihendia, they can do things for the common good. Because respect and courtesy for a fellow human being. It's almost like fulfilling that injunction. The most powerful commandment is loving God and loving your neighbor. Bring that to reaction so that they don't even read Bible, but they do what is godly. So when godly people are in power, it does not mean that you have to really be a professing Christian. You can actually be a Muslim and be godly in the way you behave. And that's why it's important to pay attention to this concept of emotional intelligence. Are you that kind of person? Well, look, courtesy and respect for a fellow human being. And it's not when you're dealing with big men, dealing with your housemates, your drivers, your gate man, well, respect for a fellow human being. If you're not that kind of person, forget it. It will manifest truly who you are. And when people tell me, power, and you don't have power, change your they don't change. They are who they are. But when you give them power, they now manifest fully that true nature. In your former, before, or today. What I'm saying to you, Buna, seek for those who are emotionally intelligent. And I don't say your own due diligence. No problem. Look for somebody else. But seek you first as mother in leadership. And every other thing shall be added onto it. The last part of being emotionally intelligent is social awareness. Male being all the time. Male went to speak. Male went to keep quiet. Ito I say akmankata na nkugide mfunaro na agbako no male mbenga akwusi ihe nneku mana ihe nneku adabanyezi. We stop. Check your audience. Gauge your environment. These are the important things that we all, and these things are brought just because of politics. In any sector, also known as pharmaceutical, also known as logistics, when you see staff, they're emotionally intelligent, they're exceptional. They behave and perform better than any other person. Seek Ndidi, particularly when it now comes to leadership conversation. Nke kasi ewute mbona iputa walu vote tolo ni ma na bu na asigi walu family business nna gi sigi hand onya as a CEO esi alo ka bia zubu ai nori esi yaki walu nke ndi ụwa niile near. That's how wickedly we can be sometimes. The next P after political leadership is the party or the platform. Only reason ndị a ji dị mkpa na ịbụ ezigbo mmadụ is actually the most important factor, but it's not enough. Ezigbo mmadụ banye ebe ndị ori gbakọ. Before ga emesi ọ na-eme na-apụta a na-afụkwu ya as onye ori. When we are young, our parents used to advise us, "Kaimalo odi camp I keep, odi nku I never." Same thing. With due respect, Oga Fiaro if was mado mele image na a party like APC in Nigeria. With due respect, a broke one we can wear exception. Man, before you put on one, I said that exception, because when they gang up, if that now alo to abroad for the common good. Most of the time for selfish and a sectional few. And that brings us to the issue of citizenship, which is the second thing we're going to talk about after the issue of political leadership. So, and particularly, I am Bunde, Southeast Anambra, and we party Mankola Ayafa. Because you are against the people. Democracy is meant to be a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. None the mother get walogi tinya ijede as a service and they'll be able to hold you accountable. And of course, you too must hold yourself accountable. And so, external factors you will be accountable to the external factors. And so, we're going to come to all of these issues. What are we supposed to be doing? Because now I know in an inadequate country as corrupt as the system is so weak, it's not an excuse. It is totally not an excuse. Abona ano febe ebegebe dinta amoteba without aiming. Akwaya? Before I bring into how do we get it done? Let's understand first, because some of us amaro ineme. Truly speaking, because I banya here about this leadership question nekumakia. Ikakafundi ganabo na or one or noyim or a philanthropist, or they don't ask these important questions we're talking about. How transactional we can be in the decisions we take in politics. The next P, the third P, the process of your emergence. How you emerge is so crucial. Onadimma truly Yaboloni will emerge as a choice of the people, and therefore you will be accountable to the people that put you there. Just like the point I made earlier. Aboni Putakita, I know some godfathers gangle up Tinyagida. Obviously, they don't come without conditions. You're going to get in there and be accountable to godfathers. Abu knows some guys from the INEC or Supreme Court or the judiciary or security systems or some professor in a particular university. When you go through a wrong process, you're a product of a wrong process, you're likely to be a wrong leader. On adima itik the boxes. Ebo Ozigbo mmadụ now run under the right platform that emerged through the right process. Before Ikabia, Kerihonya Hanabime, want to check here. I didn't start this conversation telling you this is what I'm going to do in Anambra. This is how I'm going to curb insecurity. Not that I know Ozigbo insecurity are now within 6 months. But guess what? That's usually where you go to. When some journalists called me out, what are you going to do differently in Anambra State? That was their question. You see, I stop. Your first question should be, are you a different person? Joyce, onye ndị mmadụ bụ, ndị ha bụ. Before you banye into ihe a na-abịa ime, ịma na ofe ogori bịa kịta kwesị agị nkwa, and nwere ihe o jide nkwa eme. What the hell are you doing with the nkwa ọ na-ekweghị? Why do you always think about debate and manifesto and blueprint? Can you only achọka ọmalụ ihe ọ ga-abịa mee? Ịmakwa na mgbe ụfọdụ we can hire consultants and they write some beautiful manifesto after Golonia. So I'm here to disappoint you. Obuno manifesto ka ị na-abịa ka ngolo gị ntọ gị. Go and do a proper due diligence about ndị mmadụ na-apụta in leadership. So that ka ị malụ, etu anyị nọ now, Obinna here is a very savvy investor. If we see two options, A or B, and we're looking at where do we put our money, A and B will tell us ideas. Apparently, A's idea appears to be more, ebake gets weka. Abone mengu hiyo nyage me, ego bulun shobogu. Mana ebo aboro, ebo nyori, ebo. B, well, some intelligence idea. Mana, not as good as this one. Mana B bo Ozigbo mmadụ. Because where will you put your money? So aboro. Imana ego hapụta ogosiri ihe oji bụrụ aboro. Mana you may invest in the B. Ọ bụrụ na idea ha mecha the challenged. Owutie na more that hi ego mmadụ ka ọ na-achị ili. Achọwa ihe ọ ga-eme not to disappoint ọya bụ ebo Ozigbo mmadụ. Bible ndị tinyelu Chineke adịghị emegheli by saying when good people are in power, the people rejoice. That's why I said before, seek you first, Ozigbo mmadụ, and every other thing shall be added. And I'm not saying you should not care about the vision. It should be secondary. It must be a factor. But don't bring it to the fore. But if you experiment, spot politics, and all that. You are part of the problem. Stop blaming politicians. Blame us who behave worse than those people. Because it means that if you actually now be the person, trust that responsibility by into power, you will even be worse than who you are criticizing. Political leadership is so important, both to humanity and to God. Let's get it right all the time, all the time. Let's not compromise under any circumstance. Let's get it right. Then when it then comes to the issue of we will debate it, we'll discuss it. And for me, thank God I'm not even a novice in this matter. I go debate. I won him, I defeated him in a debate. So I brought in short supply. But guess what? No matter how brilliant you are, you can never know it all. And so the best part of in your own ideas, be able to listen to other people's ideas. After all, state upon my family alone. It's about a collective thing. What are we going to do to deal with our issues commonly together? Because let's understand the importance of this discussion. Even businesses are easier. Some of the things I miracle will dissipate. It will be taken care of. I wear a country, Wesley, dignity restored. Some of your visa requests, each miracle come as a breeze. In fact, you may be shocked. Some of the countries signed by visa parity. In fact, you need just a visa to come to our country. Anybody say, when we come, how am I going to choose visa? I get to Nigeria. But let's get this issue of leadership right. If you listen to the story of China, they will tell you how Chairman Mao and co. how they set it up, and every single quarter they sit down to deliberate. They actually methodical and compassionate leadership in action. Over time, they started evolving until today. They're now in competition with America, who is the largest country. Meanwhile, before, it was third world countries, about China, Nigeria. But then I third world today. Man, he said, drug J to other countries. Should stop blaming our colonial masters. Now, England, America. Forget that story. Can you name yourself have a colonizer? Why were you not the colonizer? Or so you can colonize it. Stop those story bullshit, with due respect. For the sake of civil war, Guinea, or Saiwan Galaga, Japan, Hiroshima bomb, within 10 years, second biggest economy in the world. What are you talking about? Look deep, find your problem. You are the problem, we are the problem, and one of the problems. And when the deep introspection, that's when we evolve. About it. Let's find the solution. And here is one recipe. Leadership. Second one was citizenship. Now I want to why is a bigger problem than leadership. After all, leadership gives you the, what you deserve. Now here in Syria today, I just saw a horrible video how they hung the first son at facade. Leadership. When Ujwaye Naro, Obuna, Yana suffer, Buktetu, Mbaha, I'm Ali here, Obulundi Bosso, Owusari, Mana, Afu, Obiama, Keto Seguya, Obuno, Olu Ojogaro, you will learn, you will Mali here. I am at here, Ofuma, because I'm Mali here. It will get to where we are able to say, enough is enough. I, Nabokali, the problem. Eben Kusulokua for this reminded me about 2023 election. How the citizens now woke up and decided this is who they want, this is how, and eventually what happened? It's still the politicians that spoiled everything. It's INEC, is this one, is that one. And see, you're guilty of something now. See you blaming somebody else. Come you guys hold on responsible. Those people were factors because you let them be factors. If you decided to say enough, I said we wanted to come out, but P2B stopped us. Stop that story. P2B did not stop you. You were just selfish. You were self-centered. That was your problem. When Peter told you to stop criticizing Wole Soyinka, didn't you continue? Stop that excuse. Look inwards. You are the problem. But the moment you say enough is enough, every politician will sit up. Trust me. But let's go back to who truly are we? Are we in that first category of people the Greeks called the idiots? People who are selfish, who are self-centered, who just know about themselves. In fact, easily came to Ndi also self, are they happy? They want to be the king. The only guy about say they can drop the pebbles. Ndi also and not jump. That's the first category of people. Maybe might even say the first phase of people. Maybe Ndi Anambra Chawapu, because human people are innately evil. Human beings. Second category, but the tribal, so the classmates, and the tribe, and the Okaha, just as long as that small group in the okay, they don't care what happens to the common good. And the third category, both citizens, in the cholo civility, live and let live, common good, maybe what we call enlightened self-interest, where you know where your interest ends, maybe where the other person's right begins. Now, what is sad is, now a recent study by World Bank Center, 85% or more of black people are in the first two categories, selfish and tribal, idiots and tribesmen. It means that na whole Akita, over 100 ever, 85 of us are the first two categories. So you know when you belong to, you got non does but na more than the citizenship. I want you to know here. Let me spare you because it takes me back to the first thing I said. Stop lying. We should stop lying to ourselves. We don't even know when we will manifest these behaviors. Anna Chime PG of your town, how do you behave? He's the one I will support. That's how selfish we can. Or in fact, no one can just support to onye kai sobobo na gaga. And by so doing, you weaken the chances of Ozigbo murder. So when people ask me, I say, what is your choice here? Make your choice. If you want to continue with the wickedness, then it's okay. That can be your choice. But for me and my family, we'll take on the battle. And guess what? With the right strategies, right application, and faith in God, you will be overcomer. That's what I can guarantee you. Man, if you give up in life in the name of, if we cannot beat them, we'll join them, then you are either idiot or you're tribal. Even 2021 election, yeah, I give it to a lot of people. They didn't really know who I was. Some people here can say, it was until we saw you in the debate. I am a Bologna, man, I'm about to go late. I have to go, I have to go on your all of my neighbor. Okay, that was an excuse, no problem. Now I'm going to go. Because will even tell me they didn't know Onyonya Habo. If you send a Maro Saludobo before, man, you said Rogema. We all knew. What anything on I met today were surprised to people like us. Judge Joyce and a CBN, who he was. Do your due diligence. Stop giving excuse. But people nacho, ebopuna incumbent nebaha. Abgad, this Ka Anambra State. Ego ebuyano nande, kai sobonye ebegode. You are selfish, you're an idiot, or you're tribal. Akwandi Greek kulia, bokwa muakulu. Don't blame me. Using the categorization. And go again now. And I do, Gebeka Val gets what they go. They go to that Jana Jumad. No, that Jana Jumad. So, Ian Emeg Efoberg in Aya. When you draw me in Nassabo, Imalo your ransom value, make it not poggy, what Tianya valuable, can't Tiana. It's honestly, it's not a joke. We've got to take this serious. How many more years are we going to live in this world? When are we going to see our society evolve? On Maika Alonka, Boza vegetable. This is the moment. Miss it now, you'll be sorry for yourself. And that's why I said to you, my message, bro, Nambia values when I tell governorship, Nehenge Mena Anambra State, no. If only Kamuma Sobonya have, let it be a wise decision. Let it be a thought-through decision. Go and do your due diligence. And if you fail to do that, an immeasurable victim of the situation, don't look for who else to blame. Blame yourself. Simple. Make your choice. As you make your bed, so you will lie on it. Again, let's take this discussion seriously. Because anyone is here, how this is here, and we're bro, here to them na Scandinavian country. Not come here because yes, say you intro because a joke and jacket to be about because. Akuya, can be aside because. Na ije umebede man ogolo na toyi. Ogolo tuai na village achem ogolo. Jeba ka go hike ogolo. Abron kai bo. Don't worry, I don't even need that. Don't worry. Rapia, don't worry. Thank you. Hana is young. Thank you. Okay. Now, you see, if we get issue of leadership right, with a citizenship right, Melora, in be late, beyond never check it not here. Never check it not here. So if we get the issue of leadership right, and when we also get issue of citizenship, can I look at the right people that are taking the right decision, so that we will end up ensuring that we actually take a right decision that will give us the type of leadership we want. That is a very good way to start the evolution in Ekumakia, the transformation. This may appear simple, but it's actually very powerful. And more than anything else, any other person may go. Even in our businesses, these are the things that define and differentiate people. Different levels of success, I know. Leadership, there is strong moral character, competence, capacity, compassionate, commitment, bringing it all together. And even a group of people that are ready to hold themselves accountable and hold their leader accountable and do what is right and stop looking for who to blame. It is simple, but it's powerful. Because unfortunately, we live in an environment that is lawless. So you can only be, when you decide how to be a citizen. You can choose to be selfish. You can choose to be tribal. But you can also choose to be a citizen. In the Western world, proper leadership over time, they build their system into what we call a law and order society. So it wasn't much choice to be selfish and tribal. Because you have consequence. In Nigeria, you can get away with murder. You go ke bia ba na gbo mmadụ na free. You might get away with murder. And that's actually what makes the whole difference. Accountability. And when hitting melon in Nigeria and the only time, you know, na ejelo prison break, Boko Haram in Bafusia, nobody was sanctioned, nobody was demoted, nobody was penalized. You know, ejelo na army barracks, menka, nothing. The only time I know self don't will only and actually label some underage young people, they may protest, and I parade her. They left out to me, when the real criminals are being harbored, if you really want to orchestrate a change in this country, the starting point for creating a law and order society. And we start off with judiciary, the last hope of a common man. Now, I'm going to give you a contract. If you disrespect that contract, can you get justice? Not a bag of pogo, only more contact. But that's what we have in Nigeria. So it's only leadership that can deal with these issues. But we must be the right people and now actually be ready to say enough is enough. I'll bring these conversations in the Anambra, Igafo, how I link them up. And because I'm now going to Anambra. But before I go there, I mentioned there are three things that I catch up with the rest of the world. I mentioned leadership. I mentioned citizenship. Then the last part is values and culture. The value system that we promote. The things that we hold dear. The things we also condone or condemn. Biko, omonem, anmayono. These elements. And when I talk about culture, it's not necessarily yes, but also, how do we evolve as a people? Here. How do we evolve as a people? Put the phone. How do we evolve as a people? This is where the culture of continuous improvement comes in. Okay, the culture that will help us to challenge status quo instead of celebrating status quo. You know, na buy Nambo for the Negalianya, jet different towns of the chiche. Not many things actually change. Ewepu nke motala mota mabota law no laws me for the here. Ima kwana arapo ai ayaka line mia. Na jo himself arapo ai akaya manhebo lift no. Would we have evolved ourselves into easy step, Loaza lift, Pia button, Bugogi 30 floors? That's simple technology. If you go to see from Eto Kite, Loaza a bus 380, Gebuzumado 1,000 people, now flying Nenu. How do we evolve as a people? Now let's go back to our villages. For Mgafe for the Alosi, Ndinefe Alosi. Nigde how dirty on that. There's nothing that evolves. There's nothing, the same thing, the same how. So what makes it attractive? What is wrong with us? Why can't we evolve as a people? Can you have a man in your village? You got to put that and I record there, and I make improvement, and I blog in Nozina, it was Akubo, Aboziki Sakubo. On those Mela events, I know what is amazing irrigation, even now, and was a sprinkle say water. In our buffer now, some places, big farm. And I said, man, how can anybody chicken buche? Chelo, because we celebrate status quo. And I cho, it nana has a me, I guess make a dear, long way big. That's horrible. That's horrible. We live in a competitive world. Everybody's competing. who will outperform one another. I can't assume no kind of thereby no see ike. Mba. Ekworomnia. He will tell this concept, the philosophy in the corporate environment. Can you imagine when you begin to interrogate every single thing that you do, questioning everything that you do? Now I say, is valuable. How do we even make it better? How do we cut this waste? That's the biggest part of it, cutting waste. Waste in your life, waste in your societal life. Open up me to know munna ka abia kita. Enwere ike so iweta oji ebe a. Gosi ekewe oji a ka make sure ke zulie. Ike oji itu afa ndị mmadụ. Nwere ike take 1.5 hours. Anyị nwepụ nkata ikpal balulu. So ka awa oji. Tu afa. Onye nke a bụ ọnwa oyoko, onye nke a bụ nke a. Mike up to the real meeting, a food that now value or the goal less. How do we interrogate these things? Moije meeting in Asina, not so Sunday Kenya, Garekuku, Umako Banshi, Hajetugulana, Momuai Becca. We've got to keep asking ourselves, what can make us better? How do we get better? And that's what Kaizen does for you. When you study Kaizen, it tells you how to cut what they call Muda, Mura, and Muri. If you bring this into any environment, man, your office, you'll do better. Your pursuit of efficiency. If you bring it to your societal and even your personal lives, and if you bring it in governance, particularly in the civil service, why would a CFO, you suppose they sign within 2 days, take 6 months to sign? Doesn't make sense to me. Cutting waste can be transformational. If you bring these 3 things together, you will see magic. Now let's talk about Anambra State. I have a very simple message as far as Anambra is concerned. And that simple message, Bo, Ndi Anambra, how far? How market? Unlikely, to buy it. What Christmas kind on here? Olugonome. Onina nazikita egwanatio. My experience, particularly with the diasporans, was very telling. For them, Kasi Kuzi Bubiko, I was interested manozo, manamili, manoko, I am wondering that just I had Biko, can you get a make and wake and by my village? Hello, man. Again, just don't bother with any other thing. Now, we're not interested. It's also a job. That's how bad things have become. Honestly. Every single day. And there's not even any effort. That governor. Now, security agency had reported to governor. Who told you? How come some governors are doing better than the others? How come? No matter what to do, no matter what to do. There's not even a conversation. Okay, go and even engage those security agencies. They have even made recommendations that have been ignored. Yeah, they may have their ulterior motives and intentions. We understand that. But if you are serious about curbing any issue whatsoever, including security, because we've had issues like this in the past. And I will come to Ihaigeme, Anambra State. Yana Jugodo Buna, Ebo Unafugo to Anambra today. You've got to decide in 2025 whether you want to return the status quo or you want to challenge the status quo. Kai rapuzie ebe na oji ego niile, oji power niile, oji connection niile, ka kai si mba na yekwero. Onye ade emeta ofuma, he has to go. Let's get somebody else. Those are the 2 options. Unu neba, where do you belong? Because guess what? None of you knows who is going to be the next victim. It may not be you personally. Man, I'm ancha neba atiego ego equal ransom. Abona ekubero managere ego. That's the truth of the matter. We've all become victims of this. Victims of it. Now we can see. Now the Archbishop, I forget, I can make negotiation. Archbishop, no respect, self. Archbishop, Mego retired. When moto after one snow or pole, one cosipa for now, one motor about Uguasi and Kaj Wemenka. Almost serve about Gaziaga, Anambra State. They will tell you, don't pass this road, meaning that I'm my bahano. So, make a determination. Stop looking for who to blame. Protect the vote. Don't be transactional. Be purposeful. Then here diche. Here diche bona. Ufodu na abo aputa say mbaye nemenke 2023. Na waste vote. I say let's go and waste the vote. That's being purposeful. So we're not supporting Peter Obi, not necessarily because Lord a Melibulu president. We're supporting him because he's the right person to be supported. Now I compare here at that time, no nyakase ndia ma, and that's what we're doing. Support who is right, not who may have all the resources. No, that's not how to decide. Otherwise, Ebolo exactly what you are criticizing. So, Ndi Anambra, I've also said it. Okay, if we have made a determination that I like her, it will say Ka Anambra, and therefore, onye nokita, there's no, all the 2 and first term, Oka chol vote, Oka chi convince I, Mark Oga desi na second term. Now therefore, can I say a support. Now, if you want to remove an incumbent, simple recipe, Nabo, can I be together of like minds. All in unity, not by dispersing. Abron dia sieba, ndia sieba. Abroku you won't everybody get together. Man, I want some critical people that must come together. And when here Ndi Anambra Jibili, and when they got up to see, and was were elders in the land, they've got to come together and actually be together. What you do is if they check ending on a tape now, can they put a gasoline? Who is ahead of them all? You build synergy with Onyahano ahead. I pray for you now first. A rapia, Joan about incumbent. So I draw it on as an election now. Not to undermine all the other names. Ma George Mogalo, ma Bart Wiebe, ma John Nwosu. I'm mentioning names. Ma Paul Chukuma, ma Keafa Agasi, Azoka Okuosa. All the people who have indicated interest. Not to undermine them. I'm also passing this message to all of them. Are you really serious about us taking out Soludo in this election? Then come together. Let's work together. Let's work together. He created this Mambalayul. Yenemen Aneme. Unuchaneba, this is close to them, and that's why I'm mentioning them. Go and beg them, say, Biati mo up. Kanodana Payakba. That's what we should do. We need to build alliances so that we can change the status quo. Make a desire by I now know where breed of life. And it can be solved. And the starting point of solving it, is because we can say things that may appear convincing, or confused. So go back and do a bit of due diligence. And when you do that, you will find a solution you're looking for. Let's come together and build a synergy. And the chances of defeating the incumbent is incredible. The momentum is high. Somebody has gone to the social media. Has already been done. But I even tell people, forget about Nkonya Hamalo. Abonibo, an influencer. Go to your handle and put it there. 2 comments had come out. Somebody put my name, Soludo, and unfortunately late Senator Ifeanyi. Kedu onye unu ga-atụrụ election 2025? My score was 93%. The rest, neke 7%. I move again, we see in Labour Party, kedu onye unu ga-enye candidacy? It's funded in Apota. No, my score 95%. Do you know why it's the case? Next, necessarily because Nambo is bombarded. Kamana, muna onye nke nokita zolo 2021. We know the circumstances of his victory. We know. I'm going to go to the court. When Oba brothers took me to court, it was Supreme Court. Until 3 weeks to the election before my name came out as a candidate. I got through with betrayals within even the PDP family. And the church politics a player, and how both sides unfavored me. But guess what has happened? Most people are now in regret. Now I see, nekuno onye ha ka eje, nwere onye nwere advantage among the putakita nazo. Nwere. Nke ibua, nwanne anyị nwoke nazo presidency, Peter Obi. Ebe ka ndị ọzọ nọ. I was the only person nazo election now, putalu soli gbaghalị everywhere, spending my money and resources and time. Nwekwe ihe nazo, ọbụna nazo senator, teacher, House of Rep or whatever. Mputa made those sacrifices. So all of those efforts. The reason, Gabo, is Jane at table today, see, when you know ahead of them. I am by the grace of God ahead of them. Clap for Jesus for Nkamaka. Nko no say, ono no say, madu nesi more. This is a fact. And onyecho ya Jane and his own social media. Agwana mbina me before you may Jane on Igwa and Jagwandos Jane vote, but no. Now, flights get taken 16 hours, mayor, so that I will not be aware. You will get your results. This election is therefore, do you want Soludo or do you want Ozigbo? In fact, do you want darkness or do you want light? Now, what are those concerns that you know? Nkembo, hi, Nigeria, INEC, judiciary, security. Now, votes don't matter anymore. No hard decide they are no gaga. Biko munem obro ezioku. Votes matter. Two things can actually drop here. Nkembo bụ na ichi imeli an incumbent. Bolie ka onye na-agba football match. Etu you know now, your team na chiba match. Ewe si na referee na egolugie. And guess what? You work yourself. You want evidence of the payment. Malusi, if na indeed egolugo referee. He na just like bo imagine. You see, my mom bazik inazia. Oh, he get me. What will you do? You double your effort. Equado seeker of a man. You prepare well. That's what we're supposed to do. Etwa nokita. You be saying na when he get me no joto. Eh? Obedi kesi na when he get me na batete. Akom ko belolsa. Mobo omelora sena biko. Aiwa yene mai siya inaka. If we decide as a people that nothing will go wrong, nothing will go wrong. And there are two things we need to do in that regard. In Kembo, we make it sure now. I nukute imagine it was about a football match. Before and about 30 minutes, open again, we get 3, 4, 5 goals. So that before referee and they wake is in yellow there haka, we can also a boys can score muzi. Mbahazi, Abloze 5-2. Ikameli the election. Ikameli the match. It was according to Weboro ebe nwalo a serious margin na Nigeria. Where Bazembo to protect the margin is Nori. Kano is a living example. Ndi na Chikida, Cholo Kano, Oku Onwo. Don't forget, the current APC chairman, but former governor of Kano State. So they wanted it because they know na Kano bu nukuto obodo. Kab haji there, haji obodo. But guess what? When the Kano potalo, go see their strength. And we have a Jazoeja. Even Abia State. Like Oti, one with a lot of margin. I give credit to Nen Noti, na her display. But guess what? Open that margin, they close. Aka kole akoko. Ebe ni nezulezu ebe margin they close. So the first thing you do, to mobilize people. And when gatekeepers say, Eba, things must be done right. Ime to her, Soludo, Ana. In Kibwa, we will use the power of technology and polling unit agents. We may I won't say more than this because this is also being streamed live. Okay, and I'll go. So, I am dead serious about it. We can and will win this election by the special grace of God. The time for campaign law, I got go into more details. Now, ufodu ekuo ebe ka va gesi wote ego ge jizo election now. That question actually, sometimes I feel like answering it. Sometimes I feel is coming from a position of lack of knowledge. Lack of, on one hand, we know the importance of money in politics in Nigeria. We know that. And money must be made available for this important exercise. So do they really expect Val Ozigbo to have all the money? Okay, election. Is that what they are talking about? That means, so Njeze can be accountable to Val Ozigbo? Is that what they're actually implying? Because the Democrats now move from Biden to Kamala Harris. How come Nahajiro Egoneka Kamala Harris debe? How come? But the moment the woman potalo, can you hear with $10, $20, whatever, egoju $500 million on Heji within 1 month. Because the true meaning of democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We've got to start something in this country that we haven't been doing. We started a little bit of it in 2023, but we didn't perfect it well. Crowdfunding, that's how you democratize funding. Une ezbo mmadu nwolo ego eji azụ election nyo ye nyo ofuma kedikwa sure no ezbo mmadu ka obo. The mistake people make is keep asking me before na ewukwa me well. See, so nkam wepụta link gara aga ezbo alone. It's not enough sacrifice. Did I tell you I'm coming to steal your money? I'm coming to serve you. So you are part of the process. Open the with the money. Maybe a kidnapper don't hold Val responsible. And this is not a cause or a wish for anybody here. But I'm saying to you that if really is that important to you, when they encouragement, that's what I've seen everyone go. Don't worry, wait for my word. Rapia, one cover there. This is what's going to happen in my word. Say, welcome on board. Ndi Anambra. Who are you? Are you a transactional person? Are you a purposeful person? Yeah, but Ben Namonagi, Kana Kono, Kina Down Anawuzi. What are you going to do about it? You've got to get one of your own that you trust who can do the needful. And so I am not in any way saying that when you're not a election, of course, and that's why I've been doing what I've been doing almost single-handedly. And of course, I have to pay homage Tundiri Nekwadolo in 2021, because some of them are in this room, when they make an enormous sacrifice, and I'm deeply, deeply grateful. And particularly, the Melodicine organized today, because it's in one kobo today, I commend them all. I am grateful for all of these efforts, but we need to do more. It is our collective effort. Obo navala enwere ego tinye nke gị ọ nke mụ na gị ma ị bụ onye Anambra ma ị bụ onye Imo like eze elect na Abatakita eze elect I salute you. So biko, it is that important for us to do the needful, and other fears, not Ziana. Any other question, I'll take it. But let me now quickly share with you how we're going to transform Anambra State. In 5 minutes, we can then pause to interact. I salute you. I'm going to give you a microphone at some point so that I can do those your. They don't know, this your, where your comb? Bring your comb. How are we going to transform Anambra State? I want 3 perspectives to governance, and it's well informed. We are coming from the perspective now Anambra the special. We are coming from the perspective that now I need Rebo, Dubai, Taiwan, we can be Anambra that we are proud of. After all, we used to be proud of Anambra. When Namda Zikiwe Akbalaha in charge, when we were the fastest growing, mine produced giants in the educational sector and literary worlds like Chinua Achebe and the likes of Enin Joko and Co. and Kennedy. When we used to do the magic in the business world, when Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu was in charge of 15 PLCs in this country, started this Lagos Stock Exchange, and that's basically a colossus in the business world. And today, we can boast of having the largest concentration of billionaires in Nigeria. We are special. We're special also because of our identity. Now, in this impactful race, and I call the Jews, we are one of them. Proven. People have done DNA to prove it scientifically. More equal in the Bible. And what it means, Bona, when we get to do a few things right and ignite those magic, Oya behind Eku, Ka Anambra Chawapu. Ka Anambra Megene Chawapu. Matthew 5:16. Let your light so shine, so that people may see your good deeds and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Ka Anambra Chawapu. Omonem Biko. We will do the needful, and you'll be proud of Anambra and Alibo once more. If we look at sector, we will look at the ones that are important to us and concentrate on them. Security is the most important, and we're going to give it everything that we have to get it right. The starting point of dealing with insecurity, Bo, Ibugodu, the right person, yourself. EJs or Chichi, butter bandits, imported them into just to help you get in there. You're the wrong person, running under the wrong party, and you've emerged through the wrong process. There's no way you can solve insecurity. Take it to the bank. Maka equal self, and the bandits will not challenge you. Are we not your partners? Equal kita ibaso gafo inakbo. You've been blackmailed. All the colonial putakita cho na onye nokita ga cho law and order created. It's not possible, because you have to deal with the people that put you in power. But guess what? Judiciary, you know what we do for them? We build houses, increase their salaries, and do stuff. No. There's somebody you are going to be. You will foreclose your chances of solving the problem we're talking about. What I'm saying to you, you've got to predispose yourself well, so that any will of God, about truly, truly will of God. Biko, Onwalo nkata mana not former current governor of Abia, Alex Oti Nakwa. And he shared a lot of things with me and how he's dealing. If that now, this issue of insecurity can actually be solved. And if you go even back in time where before Peter B. Blue governor, Malito Anambra Dimba, Maluhio Megasile. What is sad in our own situation is that, and what are there any effort? There's not even any voice. Kidnap. In fact, the danger for Ezeke Nibo. Now, no, a sitting governor, but Bagalani here, K. Bonds and Okba. Now, without even paying homage to Akawa Tualo. Ajugum didn't any teacher. Monday here, Monday. Which day have you ever met with governor to brainstorm to actually solve insecurity in Anambra State or your local government? Tell me. I sat down with an AIG before. Joy, Hana governor see zone 13. Na Ukbo. Osim na 3 months gonna go here. Of better governor. If you see that some of you are big men not here, you deal with the commissioner of police and draw her, this man, Ketu Nahasa Loko, here for yourself. It's a non-starter. You've got to be the right person. Before you go and you get America. Before you can get publicly, before I won't say publicly. But I guarantee you that security will be the foremost, the most important thing I'll focus on. If it means it will like Ka Anambra ni netien Nyakaso Voya, Valosbo would do it. And so I don't want to belabor Iba into Ihage Megasi. Because go back again to the starting point of our conversation today. Check first on your promise. Agenti or the promise on him. Abu no onye nwalo obi mmadu, fear of God, obi nwute. Onye ga and for the channel ibo agboro ka ga just solve we abro eziokwu. For no toto gaga. For the channel ibo when need the agboro, well in the agboro tinye me hige. Manisi ga akpakọta goro ọnụ, iwe male bi ga tinye the agboro. Na agota ihe an na-ekwu. Maka ụfọdụ ya sị na vala idikwa too gentle, the question ị ga-emenwu ya. Mbolu no mume mal man ga-emenwu. We've done and dealt with things like this before. I have led 2 PLCs, and one of the places on a Hilton, security was the most important consideration, and we solved issues around it. And again, I'll bring in email there, publicly. But I'm assuring you that it will take preeminence in the area of priority. Because of human capital development, education, healthcare, and economy. In this regard, I have debated this even with Soludo, and like I said before, I was considered victorious in that debate. And I can tell you for free, today I'm going to share a few pamphlets. It's not enough because I could go many, every Angelo. So, when I print here more, but all the printers are busy, maka Christmas season. So we couldn't get enough. I'm going to share the much that I have here. And there, we articulated all the things we are going to do. How we are going to solve the problem in education. And we're talking about issues around affordability, quality, relevance, how to... He alluded to it. Peter B did a lot of things in this regard, working with the missionaries. And that's exactly what he did. He built a school, handed over to missionaries. Because missionaries are more accountable. If they support civil service properly, civil service will wake up. And only an fire this side, only an fire this side. Whether government school or missionary schools, all of them will start doing well. And shift them clearly in the area of affordability, quality, and relevance. Imagine if you create a performance-driven environment where even the students are going to vote only about the best teacher and all that. Teachers who are imagine the worst teachers will wake up just because of the shaming and naming around it. Let's create an environment of accountability where we hold people responsible for their action. And that's what we're going to do, to up the ante when it comes to quality. And for relevance, it's about tweaking the curriculum, make it more relevant. So that to solve problems. whether in formal education or vocational skills. And in the formal education, Ka Anambra Bulo, a tech hub, for instance, how do we tweak the curriculum at a primary and secondary school level so that we can begin to generate people a bit of coding and programming issues? So this is how we believe that I focus on these key sectors. And of course, I Bundia here, Burundi name import, name export. How do we deal with this issue? Can you get me around port system? What level of infrastructure are you going to develop? When can I get me as a state? When can I get me in collaboration with the federal government? When can I get me in the short term? When can I get a plan by in the long term? And I bear this Ndi Anambra, like I've assured everybody, I want to respect the sanctity of zoning. Email one term, hand it over to somebody from Central that will take the vision forward. So that you don't have, because one of the self 8 years that is, 16 years that is, man email of leave all the impact. You may have put on succession planning. By the time you project the right person, Anambra wants so because you've done well. Email of they will follow your leading. In your direction, by the time after election, only have may emerge, or easy to continue with that vision. And that's how we intend to transform Anambra, Oyabo, Anambra Chawapu. The same thing, if you go into other important sectors of technology, how do we make it a hub, Anambra hub? Now, how do we deal with issues around IGR and Ikuji and natural resources? Create a law and order environment where there will be consequences for every action. Let's behave better. Let's shape better. They may not want to follow the rule, but when they see there are consequences, they won't have any option than to follow the rule. The next approach to leadership, the cluster approach, we will take care of every Anambra area. Manonwalebe concentrate energy and resources to make sure you get it right, because when you get it right, you're touching the lives of every Ndi Anambra. Onisha, what do we make to make Onisha, transform Onisha into a proper commercial hub? Nnewi as a proper industrial hub. Oka as a proper capital city. Omambalax is for agricultural processing. How do you create that whole zone, making sure that from producing to distribution to the export, all of that? And what issue again were there? Solve all of the problem, even to the extent of developing a rail system to lower the cost so that Anambra is competitive. That's the only way we can create the jobs we're looking for. All private sector get create the job. We've got to make that environment competitive for the private sector to thrive. These are the things I bunuche. And guess what? In order, brilliant ideas, bring them on board. This is what we mean by cluster approach. Partnership approach, Bona, I want to dogo, particularly in Lagos. I was discussing it yesterday when I fly. And I told him that, can you imagine if we are able to focus on areas of education, healthcare, roads, and security, and see can I leverage in the Anambra State? Let's see how we can leverage their resources to transform Anambra. Near 1 kilometer road, the government will intentionally match it with another 1 kilometer road, provided they are within the standards required. If you do this, it will throw up a competition. They're already doing this anyway. But if you do it in a manner that I'm talking about and meticulously capture this, and on December, we'll create a special day to recognize and celebrate these people in a manner not done before. And when they have any issue whatsoever, you handhold them. For instance, not training license in government. And when you walk into an office in Abuja with your governor. If you do these things, I'm telling you, it will help us so that Ndi Anambra, Abalo, Anambra, Ulu. And so these are the major areas. And I believe I don't need to further introduce myself. I've done that over and over. Most of people not here, ma'am. I'm again grateful. And a lot of our leaders who showed up while the discussion started. And particularly, I want to appreciate Onyabu, the chairman of this organizing committee, Ikem Umezoke, Biko, I salute you. Thank you. Biko, at this point, I think it's appropriate to pause and get reactions. Any questions, any comments, I'm more than happy to respond. God bless you all.
Hello, hello.
Okay, please can we have a massive round of applause? Notice there was no, no teleprompter. There was no telephone. There was an hour and a half of free-flowing, intellectual. No, I think you have to clap a bit louder. At the beginning I said a very special human being. We are lucky to have this gentleman. Please, a round of applause for him. So we've, the young lady has passed around the pledge forms. Please fill them out if you can for us. We'll be more than grateful. And as you probably heard earlier on, Mr. Valentine was going to say that he was not here to tell you, but I know that what he said has probably triggered some of you. You might have some questions. Please feel free. I'll come round. Keep it short, keep it brief. Say who you are, what you do, and make, please, and I said a question, it's not I think, this man, I think you have to come forward. Yeah. I'm out of range with the microphone. Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right, good evening. Good evening, His Excellency. All right, I know I came a little bit late. I'm sorry for that. I had other events. I know you have talked about a whole lot of things and what you're going to do when you get there. But I don't know if you touched that before I came in. I want to hear, how are you going to protect the vote of Anambrarians when they vote? Because you can see what happened during the 2023 election. After all the efforts, something happened. So I want to hear, what are you going to do to protect the vote if eventually the people of Anambra State decided to vote you in and they vote in massively? Is there any plan to protect the vote? Thank you very much.
You didn't introduce yourself.
Sorry, my name is Fofon Momamia. I'm a comedian. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. A round of applause for him, okay? Okay, can we give more questions? Anybody? I know a lot of you already. Okay, have a gentleman over there. Please just come forward a bit if you can, just for the range of the microphone. Just come step forward. Please just introduce yourself and ask the question. And try and keep it as brief as possible, sir. Thank you, sir. Right here.
My name is Prince Iken and so forth. I'm a public servant with the federal government. One thing I don't see in Anambra, I'm from Okija, by the way. I don't see the presence of civil service in Anambra State the way it should be. What are you going to do about civil service in Anambra State? Because it's what creates due diligence, consistency, and consolidation of any effort you do. What are you going to do about civil service?
Thank you, sir. Can we get two more? Then we can let Mr. Valentine answer the questions. Any more? Just put your hand up. If we can get, okay, you have a gentleman here. Just let us know who you are. I want just keep it short, please.
My name is Dr. C.K. Siopikwe. I'm from Onewi South. My friends, I want to know what you have in mind about land policy in Anambra State. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've had only men so far. Any ladies are here? Okay, another gentleman. We want to keep it gender friendly. Any ladies? Go ahead, sir.
My name is Apostle Ndi Anambra. Your Excellency, I want you to talk about how do we solve this issue of church, the dichotomy of church politics, Anglican versus Catholic. How do we break that even? Thank you.
Okay, we'll just take one more. Okay. Oh, thank you, sir.
Your question is, how do we get the youth engaged? Seeing that today, even in Nigeria in general, it's a big problem.
All right, thank you. Gentlemen, you didn't introduce yourself, but no problem. All right, go ahead.
My name is Bishop Don Ifepe. Thank you. From Ozigbo.
I said, my name is Apostle Nam.
Thank you, sir. We have 5 questions there, I think?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. My friend here asked about protecting the votes for fun, yes. Yes, we touched on this earlier, and I'll address it once more. What I believe in, what I'm convinced about, is that if you truly, truly want to defeat an incumbent, make sure you mobilize as much as possible to win with good enough margin and get the votes in, because before you seek for how to protect a vote, you must have the vote. So our major plank will be to win massively. And I was happy when you used the word massively, and that shows me you're in the spirit. So you know what's going to happen, because we're going to win big, like Trump would say, we'll win big. Now, after we win, how do we protect that win? It's a combination of things. What I have found out is that on our FIARO is a vote, now polling unit level. And so get your ground game working well. Make sure you have your polling unit agents, train them well enough, mobilize them well enough, and use the appropriate technology, and you would win the election. You would protect the mandate. When something that happened in Liberia, as a living example, George Weah was the president. He was in control of all the systems of governance, from the electoral system down to security system. But do you know what happened? By the time he went back to the people he thought were going to help him in protecting his tenure and, in quote, victory, aware that it's too late, because all the results are out there already, because the right things were done. 2 things actually hurt us in our 2023 election. We didn't do a good job in even assembling polling unit agents. Some of the names assembled were fake. I'm being frank. I was in charge of technology, so I'm telling you what happened. And in some other cases, we just couldn't even do that early enough. So we were part of the problem. It might have been difficult, if not impossible, for the so-called criminal system to succeed with their criminality. It's always about what are we going to do. That's why we've got to democratize this process. People are just in it's not my victory alone. It's meant to be a collective effort. What will you do now, your word? Let me tell you what we used to do in our Macy, long before I even went into politics. Let me tell you, let me use that to describe what I expect people to do in their words. On election day, usually, a few of us, will come together. When the INEC people come, we will address them. We will say to them, simple, Ebi Batabo Amesi. And here, things must be done properly. We're not even going to tell you to give us results, let's manipulate. No, we're not interested in that. But Ihobun and the Amesi decidedly must be respected. And so, show us the results sheets, show us the materials, oddly enough. We are also going to take care of you. Don't worry. We will provide because we've made arrangements. Guess what? But nobody lives here until the right things are done. In fact, we have used our vehicles to blockade the entire roads. Nobody lives here. It's something we must do. And if you're able to then get things right at polling unit level, forget it. Nothing else. And we also said to them, we will follow you to the collation center. So we will not leave you 1 inch. Oyerapoha manipulate here. Mbe on a judiciary, can defend their case. We couldn't produce our results. Obo na isi na emelili, embede etua. Kai kuzen na score. Those were how we see what I do usually. I blame myself more than I blame the other person. We did not do enough. And those learnings we had Jabia. And guess what? In this upcoming election, we're not going to be as gentle as I look. Call Naka for that one. Let me go to the next part on civil service. I agree totally. Civil service is bedrock of governance because they are the ones that will execute the policies. They're the ones that will interpret the policies. They're the ones that shows whether this government is efficient or inefficient. And it usually starts with leadership. All leadership may inspire. You'll be shocked that people each and a half are lunatics. But under better leadership, they get inspired, they get energized. And that's why we should always look for not just emotionally intelligent leaders, but also inspirational leaders. People, without even saying a word, just by showing presence. So also now, once in a while, governor, I walk into an office, surprising, makes every office. Because Hamara Bell Ogabia next. And there'll be consequence. Either people are being demoted or sacked, or people are being promoted and applauded. I believe so much in showing presence. Government by walking around. When I was in the Transcorp here tonight, I go to almost all the bars in the night, just watching the guests, the customer, looking at their faces. And they used to think that I'm jobless. But that made everybody to sit up. That made everybody to sit up. And of course, it gets into the systems of improvement. I've just preached Kaizen here. Kaizen is one of the most efficient ways to improve processes and efficiency. Just to see how we cut waste in government. Civil service, we do what we Kaizen it. We cut waste. We leverage technology. We make sure we bring the right people, make sure there's the right system of reward, and on time. Penalize the under more former. On the truancy are too much now governance, now civil service. So if you do all these things, everywhere will shape up. On land policy, what I tell people is one example. He asked him, why would just even assign a simple CFO take months? My own policy, can I make these assets transferable easily as possible? Take a record of them, make it possible for us to move from one person to another, and document properly. If you're able to do it in a manner and you show respect and courtesy to various institutions, particularly the town unions, Imalo, the boundary, in state government and Ebe local government will have to play their own role. One of these I have found that is actually part of the insecurity we're having here, but the difficulties, the issues I know in various towns and communities. Each PG election kita, I drug him a abga. Not just on abga, ibo abga nke soludo, makibo abga nke edoze njoku, you are on your own. It's not meant to be like that. When you're elected, it's no longer, you're not the governor of Labour Party, governor of PDP, or governor of ABGA. You're a governor of Anambra State, of all. And so, allow the people to choose who they wish. And even within a town, if there's no peace, the governor does not even portray peace. So every other thing I name, including land. And now what here's the case open na Nigeria, na Anambra State, na Libo than land. Church politics. Amaram ihe Salvation Army nkwo maka Catholic and Anglican. Akpodo Salvation ebe na Amaram hi chaka nkwo na nka. You see, what I think we should always be mindful about how to be a good person, a fair person, and a just person, irrespective of who is involved, irrespective of the denomination they involved. EMLO in 2021, I was the victim of it. A victim of it in the sense that in our election, were three of us. There are more than three of us, but there were three prominent ones. The current governor, myself, and Ndi Uba. And Ndi Uba, Marsara Mokoneje, Manarka Nenania, Munyeliana Anglican. And so, a week or so to the election, Russia chair night, Nagwata diocese. I was in church that day. All of this to push his candidacy, such that Peter Obiachigo, Obianachigo, they're Catholics, and so a lot of our brothers, Anglicans, were saying, now this is the moment. And what was sad in that regard, Bona, when you engage, now say, have you checked Onye Andibo? You check your party about APC. It's actually, we don't care as long as no Onye okay. On the other side, so what Andy did also, he was able to leverage the power of incumbency. They have a lot of resources and a lot of pressure they could bring to bear. They had bought almost everybody viable, every viable politician, from Stella Odua to Lindy Bazu to Ewopudike to Momoji to Chris Azubog. Everybody moved from their party, join there, Andy. And so the fear gripped the Catholics. That not an Anglican Gabo governor, not APC, and not a character like Ndi Uba. And so now Val bụ Catholic, Soludo bụ Catholic, so ọ bụ na ha ka vote ha na Andy might win. And so we've got to be on one side. That's what happened. And so what happened? Val bụ a young man aging on his side. So ya kacha logodo, ka Soludo ya support Soludo. So I went into an election where Anglicans did not support me, Catholics as an institution did not support me. But guess what happened? I still came second. Now that both sides are even regretting their decision. My Catholics are regretting Catholic Soludo choice. Anglicans are regretting Anduba's choice. They will now come to me, Mbuzia or Hazulume. And Mbanye there, I will make sure there's a level playing field for both Catholics, Anglicans, Salvation, Pentecostal, by God's grace. Finally, how do we engage the youths? When it was the same engaged youths, Nabro, Echoloha, Olo, Imeha, gainfully employed. And when they want to creative ideas, how to help those creativity. And that's where creative industry is important, and that's one of my forte. And so, for us to find that job, abroad government or private sector. For private sector to do that, private sector has to thrive and do well and make money and play to their grade. So how do we now help the private sector? That's where the issue of security, bull number 1, infrastructure, bull number 2, policies, bull number 3, law and order, blow number 4. Business system about former. You will not preach a no. I could come naturally home in the buyer, they gainfully employed. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Can we have a much louder round of applause, please? So we've given out the pledge forms. Please, if you can help us fill them out. I'm sure the young lady will go around and check in them. We need to get some biros, please. Can we get some pens, please, for people to fill out? Some of people don't have pens. Yeah.
I don't know if there are more questions. Otherwise, I'm going to call on somebody to make a remark here. Okay, there are more questions.
Okay. Can we have a hand? Yeah? Okay. Okay, let's start here. I'll come over there, okay? All right. We have not had ladies so far, so we have to make this gender friendly, please.
Convert any man to a woman.
Good evening, His Excellency. Good evening, gentlemen and women. My name is Nebife Ikechukwu. I am from Ayamelum in Anambra State. My question will be, what strategy are we going to implement that will address the shortage of medical professionals in our rural areas, and how we can also build medical facilities in order to help our farmers? Secondly, I would like to also ask, how do we help our youths come out of Mbolommiri? These are the leaders of the future. How do we help our youths to come out of this deadly menace? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let me go to the gentleman over there for the second question. Okay, please, your name, please, and the question. Try and keep it short, please.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Madineme Alex Chinedu from Ichida. And it's been a very wonderful evening here, as usual, with Chief. I have a question, and it's a very practical question because I'm a Eba Isibia. Anambra's election is 40% money or 30% money and 70% sentiment. If we want to tell ourselves the truth, if you've been involved in Anambra's election, which I've been involved severally, is 30% money and 70% sentiment. And the sentiments are whipped up from the grassroots. Ana Zotana. I know, Ana Zotana without Ote. That's where the issue of church came in, issue of South where you said one tenor and everything. Now my question is, before Ana Akoraha Makuka, before Ana Akoroha Maka one tenor, Kedimbosi, which day will we go start from the grassroots? Because no matter what we do from the top, those people in the grassroots are still the people that they will go back to confuse at the dying minute. I thought we would have gotten ground with the local government election and have Kedim Bosai be the word round in short.
Thank you. Good question there. Do we have any more, please? Okay, one gentleman here. Just keep it short, please. Name and question, please, sir.
Your Excellency, Zeuche Zemadaka from Bologu, Agwata local government area. Your Excellency, how do you tackle the tout in Anambra State? Because, especially on Onitsha and in Newi, probably I traveled 3 weeks ago. I saw different uniforms in their states. You can't park your car in Anambra State. They will chain it and give you a fine. You can't even use yourself in Anambra State, where they have most peaceful state in Nigeria. How do you tackle girl child in Anambra State? And at the same time, our university that's facing seriously serious this in our university, more especially in Oka. I saw those things when I came. I said, thank God that I have to have the opportunity. My presidency, I said, all of us have to be here. I don't know how you will feel if I cannot even ask question from my local government where you come from. You will feel bad. We fought a lot. I know how we fought this in 2021, Lagos down to East. It's because of you, I traveled down to East to get my voter's card. This time around, we are going to get Agoka by the special grace of God.
Thank you. We have 3 questions there. Can we take one more? Anybody else? Okay, gentleman over there. Please, help me please help me just say your name and go straight to the question, please. Say your name and straight to the question, please.
Good everyone. Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Pascal Uka. I'm a lawyer. My question goes like this. We are not unaware that Anambra State is home to some of the best female achievers, all the likes of Dora, God rest her soul, Obiese Ekwesili and the likes. How do you, as Your Excellency, how do you intend to facilitate gender inclusion?
Much. That's for you.
You can see we've converted a man into a woman now.
Okay.
I said it before.
I'm looking. Who is the likely
Don't
candidate?
worry, I think we're done. So, okay. Let's...
Please, if you need a pen, just raise your hand. One of the ladies for the pledge form. They will go around. Okay, thank you. Mr. Valentine, over to you, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Here, Basalo, shortage of medical personnel and facilities, particularly in the rural community, is actually a big problem. It's a big problem because some places, Gabo, and I appreciate this because I've been to Anako, I've been to Anam, I've been to a lot of these places, and now wonder natural medical facilities. For the distance, Gabo na here maybe mado before you get jiluebe age negili first aid emugo. That's the fact of the matter. That's really terrible. And which is why, if there's one thing that I feel this government has tried to do well, is to make local governments stronger. Because in our constitution, local governments are actually directly responsible for primary health care, and transportation. Obo na wa may of Fuma and allow those resources in Anambra State. Soludo, under Soludo's government, in the past 30 months, federal government has paid 162 billion naira to local governments. Do the maths, divided by 21, if such money had come to Ayamelum local government, now, it would have been a case of you guys now actually solving the problem. And guess what? When you have chairmen who you know are now being adequately resourced, not doing the needful, you know what to do to that chairman. So what I'm saying to you, Bo, that there are two ways to look at it. One from the central government in the state, but also to decentralize power and divulge power to the local governments and do well in a manner that can actually hold them accountable and get the Anambra people to hold them accountable. Oga gafego mwe igane behave anyhow in Afri. In the world I was near today, you must be careful what you do. This is a lesson that Assad did not learn. We must be careful what we do. Know you that there will always be a day of reckoning with the masses. So if we can behave better, some of these issues will be a thing of the past. On my own, as a person, I have already engaged a lot of our people. The only challenge some of our people in the diaspora get insecurity. Some of them are willing to even come home and volunteer their services because some of them have retired abroad. But the issue, insecurity, and that takes us back to the central conversation that I had about what are we going to do in the area of insecurity. So I will do my best to provide the right environment for healthcare to thrive in Anambra State. And one of those things, Bo, to hold people accountable, to hold the medical personnel themselves accountable. Many people have died needlessly. And guess what? They always easily get away with it. You put on Anambra today, in one accident, jail no I take deposit. That's a recipe for me to even close that hospital. Work with institutions of an NMA and make sure the right thing is done. There are certain things that we can't allow any further. And all those requirements, all those things that don't make sense must be a thing of the past. How do we deal with these issues in a methodical manner? About the youth, I've touched on the youth already. Openly, my youth engage in Paul Millie and Co. will disappear. There's no magic to it. Create an employment and give hope to the youth first. You've got to be an inspirational leader. Get you go to hope. They ask now go to now here di chelabia. Then here is when they see hopelessness around them. That's when they enter into all these kinds of vices. And my brother, I'm not going to what are your statistics, but let's even assume it's correct. Now, 30% money, 70% sentiments. Because when we made the research, we got the source. But it looks like what is even right, because in the definition of sentiment, he still brought in all the other factors that matter. In our case, in my case, I will tell you that we started off in a grassroots. Before Njebe diaspora, Biaba Lagos, everything I know bona grassroots. On a grassroots, can Neje deliver gasa paper di chiche. I sponsor many activities. Neje bera di chiche. Mande Zirai. And the idea is to engage with the people at home. And don't forget, I'm not also new in this game. I ran for election in 2021. Email poll among the grassroots, our momentum, the appreciable, is encouraging. Monday Mam, Monday Amaram. Not the reason, I've actually given you the reasons earlier. However, there were more things I question, which some ngasigina oge liberal, some bona other things create here a distraction to those stuff. For instance, we ought to have covered what I call a local government tour, 21 local government tour. And mana na ago na anugodu, mana leba on here and co. So those issues are militating. But what we've decided to do is to move on. Like we've gone through the whole 21 local government to inaugurate all the obedience structure in Anambra State. We've brought them to Onitsha to undertake a major symposium to energize them. We keep also engaging them. In fact, yesterday I left Nnewi, where I went to address Ndi Anglican Church, the Anglican Diocese of Nnewi. I held a meeting with the leadership of ANVO, Anambra Needs Val Ozigbo, in Agolo, Anambra State, 2 days ago. So we're doing those activities. We will have time to do a proper campaign. INEC has set a date of March to April. Kenya Zonganalo, May, June, July, August, September, October, Uluzia, November. So, Anwalunde Choloka for everywhere. And it's a good thing. For the we would have half a bar is good. Macao August one enwelo he expect. Abu na ha maro only more feel na you can bring any value. They won't even be mentioning. So I'm saying this to allay the fear that we may not have paid enough attention na grassroots. We know the importance of the grassroots, and we are doing that. And guess what? Email poll today na the grassroots. I get Meligodunia. Now, thoughts. Ndi Aburo. Well, before that show, ka ako mo na sena mo aburo ini di laburo. Na aburo gacho aburo. And say I'm aburo kuno nya nakita kwa na aburo ochoro aburo. No ezbo mmadu gacho aburo. So don't worry, I got aburo. Again, it's about creating a law and order society and draw the line. And whenever I got bankata with some group of people, ayoha. Everybody need to lay fight here, punish here, deal with them, and make it to her. The issue is that there certain things we can't tolerate going further. A lot of what is going on, bukan osia inaka, man-made. Some of you know, boeba na cho izuri. What is the origin of this arbor? They create the people natural IGR. Imana exuted the money. It told me it put a give up the license. So near the tour. Nego nega ever na this speed in car. So however you get it to recover your money, that's not what it's meant to be. Create a proper system. Drive it through technology. Arbor and now. Because on this note, I want to thank you all sincerely. Some hands are wine and champagne. If not, so because I want to thank the gender issue. Okay, okay, yes. I tried to make Kumaka because the men will get jealous. So let's not bother there. Also, I hear Okun Selo last 2021 when I insisted I must pick a woman as a running mate. Up to today, when that so I know again the importance of inclusion, not just even the women, but also even the physically challenged ones, the persons with disabilities. We've got to create an all-inclusive society so we can fire on all cylinders. You can't fire with one part of your body and expect to maximize your potential. Let's figure out what is in people, the value in people, leverage those values, and we can get really far. And thank God, some by accident, some by design. I've always worked with amazing people that Nchoranipu office is simple. I handed over to women. So people who say, "Asana, it is sure na I got an Afri ija anatusiegu." Because when I was CEO of Transcorp Hilton, I handed over to a woman. When I was president of Transcorp, I handed over to a woman. When I was head of international banking, head of embassies and multilateral, I handed over to a woman. So don't worry about. I try to make more before the neighbor. You were here now. So on that note, I want to thank you all for this time, for your attention. I am happy with the level of engagement. We've done this many places now, and it's been exciting. I would like to appreciate one gentleman and call him up here to make some remarks. This is somebody I value a lot. He was heading to Anambra when he got to know about this. He changed his flight to come to Lagos for this purpose. And eventually, Air Peace moved the flight to 6-something p.m. He had to look for another flight. Eventually got in here as the program was about to end. I consider him the most vocal, the most impactful House of Assembly member in Anambra State. He did a video that's gone viral. He's done many before, but he touched on insecurity. He speaks truth to power. He doesn't care what's going to happen. And that's the kind of man I like to have around me. Nigeria, Henry Mbachu, House of Assembly member representing Oka South 1. Please come up.
Good evening, all. Your Excellency, the incoming Executive Governor of Anambra State, CON 2025. I will also recognize the office of the First Lady. But the one we are going to have a very constructive discussion is who you are going to hand over to. Since there is a serious tendency to hand over to a woman. Because, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, so sorry. I came in late. I'm not even got into the hotel room to change. I just come in like this. But what is important is that I have decided within myself, with party or without party affiliation, with other consideration he was talking about, sentiment, is my own governor. If you don't like it, it's a koisinaja. Yes. My instinct and personal conviction will always refuse me to enter a vehicle that I will not be part of. But what I saw in this man is accessibility, humility, class, in total synergy. And some of us here are not from Anambra State. If you're from Anambra State, we should not be having this conversation. If you're from Anambra State, we know there's one agenda, that power must change hand. That is just it. We can't continue like this. We can't continue being the Sadducees and Pharisees of this generation, where you will be building, building, we'll assess that later. But the fundamentals, the essentials of what makes somebody an executive governor is to protect life and property. If you cannot do that, I don't have value for you. I don't have regard for you. I don't have respect for you. Because today, it might be his own. Tomorrow, it might be my own. So when it comes to life, I don't compromise it. Until you fix it, we're not going to be friends. That is my own standard. If we're going to be whitewashing Anambra State globally to show that we are good, Akuluono, Batabazi, and Ifa Adugomma, we are inside. It's a rotten egg, smelling, decaying, going bad. And I see Mechie, Teveno Ayala Ogene, Ajofe. I was doing one of our budget defense. I asked the CMD of Amac, a whole teaching hospital does not have an MRI machine. He said yes. How many MRI machines do you have in Oka? He said about 3. So private individuals, clinics, Eldorado, they have MRI machine, but teaching hospital, Chukwuemeka Odumego does not have MRI machine. And I went for that. How much is this MRI machine? He mentioned some figures. And I said, in the scale of what you are doing, is the modern gate that was just awarded, and within 1 week of awarding it is almost nearing completion. Even when contract on a like this, a man in you had an ESCO, in less than 1 month after you had an ESCO, the contract award, the logo completion. You man in Amako, Chukwuemeka Odumego Ojukwu University was gated. The gate was not the worst of the gate of teaching hospitals. But we don't have MRI machine. But what is very important to us is the gate to show that we have an ADVs. If ever the newborn, the sick, and the dead are living. All of Phariseeism. In a Jalo Governor's Lodge. I'm on Peter Diego before the governor here. But he went there humbly. He knew there are very, very vital things to be done, foundations to be laid. Banyede, Uri Obiano, Onye Okuko, Biakwananya, food and priority. No book ever again about here. We may pay. And the video got viral, but I was saying it, I was almost crying. In the Ministry of Homeland Security, we were budgeted 1.6 billion naira, only 1.6 billion naira. In 6 months of 2024 budget, they could not access 1 naira. I need insecurity everywhere. What have you done in actions and inactions to say that yes, you have done this and it's not ending? Amazing on the courts, amazing on the no government. You are just you bring a list and be listing them. You're not in charge, as far as I'm concerned. A ministry Kinyangulego, Ministry of Homeland, and we book before. You created it, you can fund it. But you can fund government house. We target now you ready by December, they never about Christmas. Yes, you can choka insecurity and in 2 months or in 6 months. You put that target every year in a contract. Eh? Imanoya Bawa Transcorp Unejegolo. Amataje Pia Nokaba in an Alo hotel. Nsiwuna Ikenga was in Oka, it failed. Government has no business in hotel. Ikenga was in Oka, it failed. Peter, Neneketeka dia Yaglule Kido, we say in purely for resort, for leisure. And to go no time, no look also call Ozia. All of his all will have a complete here. Till today, government can say this convention there. So government has no business in hotel. You might even go you 5-star hotel, no kabai. Hello na. Yellow industry. 12 years old. It's pathetic. Respect. All of you here knew all these things. But Lagos are more comfortable. And that is why I said I must come here. Only a queer now and a queer as a candidate. Nequia na granddaughter by. We go ya Kalobi, Natano Nakibia, my child education. Nabunu. And where Gulego say, if you get money here, go face your village. You know, Diego? Is it you Dogu na Lagos? But under Lagos, I need a game traditional marriage in a Benai. Because you know, Golonatoi. And we all will keep quiet about this. And there is one thing politicians use. I'm one politicians. People always forget. If I say I want to look at December, January, Pia, a kangaroo, goody, those security by a May election, a bit of way. But I said, whatever it will take me, I must be part of this crusade. For me, it's an appeal to your conscience. For research as an academic public, 70-30 money and sentiment. Well, it is true, but it's only true in my own case. I'm the only person that contested the election, and that is why I don't look back when I'm speaking for my people. I did share 1 naira in polling unit, and they voted me in. So that is the one that can only go for 70%. Oh, that way I go for 70%. A man at 70%, we go consultation. In Ghana, each year my own research. Or the other way around, 70-30. Because everything you are saying is money. But if we can understand who we are, if we can say, let me take just, yes, I hope I don't take it too much time. Lagos, the foundational connecting state. Okay? Ibia now, everybody know diaspora. He has gone to diaspora. Everybody in diaspora will undo na kulogwa na village okay? Undo na enye na village okay? Oya kwa muda yeba eje to vote all But before Jeme Atlanta or Jeme UK, oya lutelu Lagos. Unu we saya of my days, those issue of my we shampoo see I know you can age. Okay? The importance of Lagos is key to any election of Anambra State because the money, the validation is from here. It is now how we can network and harness this. Oh, manke amanata, onye has to come back. I don't want to. If he if he I don't know what about. We are at our lowest low. The agenda is to change the government in power by that is any means. His nature we men Dahlia. Eh? Because I know that I can come into his office. Where even in public. Makimen Jekule public won't the access to the governor. Also, no one party and all we near cafe about your nose of where. Only Messiah, I say, okay. What you cannot take from us is ability to speak truth to power. Anyway, have I spoken to him? Yes. Has he concurred? No. You know why he has not concurred to what I said? Because I'm not a PhD holder. Eh? Oh, Mike, see a professor, I professor, well. Na trade go well. This is not the issue of zoning. It is not the issue of church. It is not the issue. I'm a Pentecostal. A Josiah Mienji, watch alone. It's not a colleague or it's an understatement. It's a father. But for me, this is an appeal. You guys might be comfortable in Lagos, but we're not. It's an appeal. I came here this night to appeal to you people. Whatever it will take. About politics. It's not again. About a cupboard. The glory has departed. The glory in Anambra State. And there you go. It must be restored. And somebody has to do it. And now you come my Milano. Beacon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You now shouldn't wonder why his name is Nigeria, Mbachu Henry. And that's a good way to bring this to an end. I appreciate this gentleman. He's been there fighting for his people. He truly, truly is a fantastic representation. That's what House of Assembly, House of Reps, Senate, that's how it should be. Let's speak truth to power. Let's hold leadership accountable. Ndi Lagos, I make 3 requests of you. Nkembo, pay attention to what is happening. Boya Ngba, begin now to exert your influence. Nwanne nwoke mgbe ikwulu ndị nọ na grassroots nekwe ndị nwe ha isokwu nwelu exactly ndị nọ na Lagos, nọ na Abuja, nọ na US, nọ na Europe, Asia, all ha wana control ihe na-eme na grassroots. They are the ones that are paying the school fees, sending the medical bills. They're the ones sending the $20 billion that we talk about all the time. Mana, biko, bidokita, dabaha kananti. Nankana abia brokwa nke ego, nakweba na-eje, bidokita, send you those messages, call them on phone. Ona enyaka, ona bunje any country, before ngeji lu Anambra State. Ndị nọ na video na-akpọzi m, hey, broda mkpọkwala m o, nna ije ogokwa ọsịkwa n'ọngụwa o, hey, ahịse chukwu o, ihe nka na-ekpe ekpere ka broda mkpọziri m na phone. That's how excited they get when you guys make those calls. That's my first request to you. Second request, biko, make sure no ga-abịa on ground on the day of the election. Move your polling units, your register to vote, to Anambra State, to your polling unit, and be there on that day. November 8th is already set. Buy the ticket data, maka price kagale. Buy about on November 6th, ebata. Can you imagine if on November 7th, and all the beginning linango, sit on another beginning dichiche. One message, achieve the election. One get it wrong. Don't ever come back to me for any school fees. And what you want to tell me? There's nothing else anybody can do to stop it. if you're able to do this. And Atunegu, because I know a preponderance of security personnel on any election day, 30 and that polling units. Ndigano does the diogo. Igwaha, name my expectation. In fact, nego ajide. Mananke kan kadia, un messesia chiatanazo, kan po nolo. If you do this, forget it. Nobody can stop it. Nkito, buddy, and that's the last thing. Buhaine kubasalo funding. Let's democratize this process of funding. Une chezina konye nazo election. Bulonye gata bonwe na fufu. Some of you are already doing this. Ndade mebiko tijeko na aka mebe. Onwe ihe choka ibido, and that's what I was also preaching to them in the diaspora. I said, can you imagine if we're able to mobilize 200,000 diasporans? Even I call more than this. Just 1,000 kilometers in Houston. Say to a general 50 states, then one are US. You get more than 25% of that. In America alone. Europe, another 100,000. Asia, just get 200,000. Tinyalo, $100. In a whole election period, from now to 1 year, it's also $100. In my opota, 20 million US dollars. That's the power. And with those conditions that you must make 20 of my children commissioners. You just a hand off onye gabosi ga oluza there on emegelizi emegeli. Don't push us to go to those godfathers. Don't push us to do that. Be that godfather collectively. Kobulo ohazulu me. This is the right thing to do. We must start this. Otherwise, worry about jazo eje. Figure out what the problem is. Choose solution. Even a better solution. There's no better solution. This is what we must do. And I'm not saying it for my interest alone. I'm saying this that more than a madu. Crowdfunding. And they critically process. That's why some people are already doing this. Some are putting, $100, $20 on a monthly basis already. But let's move it further. So, Mama Mia, Marky gets to make our go viral. Better get ready. We need to get our people to crowdfund democratic process. Imalo that whole 20 billion and a cent in a whole, a little percentage of that. Tinye and the most impactful, the most important thing in our life, which is political leadership. Imaya, abroad said trip on 2027. Abuna I decided no P2B. I'm anjinasi ebeko gizi wonte ego. Ibe ikpara na ketua ego bolo nsi obogo. Acho onye obuna achole eju. Omunnem, this is a must do for all of us. And as we do this, God will bless each and every one of us in Jesus' name.
All right. Please, can we have a massive round of applause for Mr. Valentine Ozigbo, please? Please. Just a couple of quick announcements before I call on the gentleman to vote. If you're owner of a Toyota 139 DLA, a Toyota Jeep, please, you need to move it. And also, we'd like to give Mr. Obina mentioned some people who were very integral to making this evening happen. Well, I'd like to call their names. Ndidi, round of applause for them, please. Ndidi Obioha. Also, Obina Ofodo. Chike Oruche. Beatrice Ene. George Agu. Ihayin Zeku. Kelvin Orogum. Nonso Okpala. Ifeanyi Okeke, O'Brien Ufondo, Vivian Edozie, and Ikem Umuzoke, please. Yeah. Can we get Tony, Mr. Tony? Please, can we have a vote of thanks from Tony, please?
Hello. Thank you. Just a brief vote of thanks. A brief vote of thanks. We have come to the end of this program.
While he's speaking, literally, what group picture here can be coming around, please.
Just to thank particularly the organizers of this event this evening. Oh, by the way, my name is Dr. Tony Ofia. I am from Anambra State, from Oga, precisely. I want to thank everybody that helped to organize this. I want to thank everybody that took out time to be here with Valentine Ozigbo this evening. I want to thank everybody for the conversation we have started. From the look of things, we are beginning to understand what we need to do. That we have to take back Anambra State, we have to reclaim Anambra State. And by the special grace of God, it is going to come to fruition in Jesus' mighty name. Thank you all very much, and good evening.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Tony. Just before we close, we have the closing prayers, please, if you can just bear with me. Once more time, Toyota Jeep 139 DLA, please move your car. Please, the bishop is here. Can we have the closing prayers, please?
Okay. Blessings. Let's just have a minute of silence as we close in prayer. Prayer, please. Prayer, please. Prayer, please. Caps off, please. Father, we thank you for a glorious evening. We thank you for our state, Anambra State. We thank you for Nigeria. We thank you for the Eastern Zone. We pray for your blessings even in this festive period. May we rejoice. And as we march on to 2025 of hope, come November 8th, we declare by faith that it shall be victorious in Jesus' name. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, everyone. Please, if you want to take pictures with Mr. Valentine, please come to the front here, okay? Thank you.
It's a beautiful place. Ka Anambra, dear country, dear country. Hear the sweet melody they are singing unto